Hi guys, welcome to tonight's flight as we're down here in Wellington, as we're going to do a flight in the 737-300 and we're going to do a flight down into Queenstown where we'll come in on the R-NAV, but we'll disconnect just before we swoop into that left turn and we'll do a nice lovely visual approach down in for runway 05. We'll be leaving out on the runway 16, now we'll be coming in for 05 on the arrival of the LRAV 2 Alpha, and flight level will be for 320. So don't forget to like and subscribe guys, leave your comments down below. And with that all said and done, now we can get into the cockpit and start the aircraft up ready for our departure out of Wellington. Okay, so we're in the 737-300 now, so we'll go overhead, we'll put our battery on and guarded, standby power is guarded and ground power is on, which is all set. We'll go overhead and we'll get the IRSs aligned. As we'll see, they are going to take 7 minutes. We'll test the flight data recorder whilst we're here, which is fine, no lights. And we've got the landing lights, which are 3 green, which is also set. Max speed warnings can be tested. And the flaps, that might come on after the power's on. So, after that, I don't know why we've got one of the gens off the bus. But I'm sure we'll find out after. We'll see if we've got any problems. So, what we can do is we'll go and get our panel lights all set up, ready for us to go. So we'll light them all up. Okay, which is set. Go down into the FMC. We can see that we've got our positioning and everything all set. We can go and do our tests. So we'll do our cargo test. Okay, which is set. Go and test the TCAS.
TCAS system, test OK.
Okay, test the fires. Okay, there's the overheat. Well, we did get it up on the recall, so we can say that's all tested. We'll test the bottles. Okay, so we're all good to go on that aspect. We can turn our panel lights on. So wait for the IRS to align. We go get the emergency lights, which are armed, no smoking's on, seatbelts can go on, got packs on, isolation valves open, engine bleeds are in. We'll find out about this afterwards, after we've got the aircraft all set and configured. We'll go into the FMC. We'll get the route all put in, and then once the IRS is aligned, that'll all come to life. So, our route, we're going from November Zulu, Whiskey November. And our destination is November Zulu, Quebec November, down for Queenstown. So, we're going to be departing out of runway 16. We are going for the Messex to Quebec, and we're transitioning for Sabda. As we can see on our charts, we're going to come out of the runway on the 161, where after we depart we're practically going to make that right turn 500 feet to the 197, where we'll intercept at Messel for the 184, which will take us all the way down to Sabda. Now we can see it's not to scale as it is 23 miles out, and we can see here for Sadra from Messel, track the 184 to Sadra. So the 184 straight to Sadra, which is all set. Now we go down into the airport, get the elevation, which is 1160. So what we can do is put the one pump in and we'll get the APU all started up. So we can see with the bus off, we can turn the galley on. Everything's all set there. We can get our window heats, which can go on now, and the air temps. Put onto the passenger cabin. Recircs can go to auto. And we'll just see what's happened here. As we'll find out in a second, once we switch the buses over, we'll see if we've still got the bus off. And then we'll take that from there. Put engine starts to both. We can put the logo on, positioning light can go on, and any collisions. So let's switch them over. There we go. So that's all problem resolved. And we're now switched over to the buses A-OK. So we go to BAT and the APU gen, which is all okay. We'll leave these strobes for now, as we'll get that all set up nearer to the time. So we're going to be heading out on the 161, which is set. Which is also set. Coming through now as we pass out for our departure. So 500 and then Sabta. If we have a look, we can put in the rest of our route. So we're transitioning off at Sabta, and then from Sabta on the charts we are then going to be taking the Yankee 622, which is in, and we're going to be going to Messick. Okay, from Messick we've got the Hotel 159, which is going to take us to Charlie Hotel. Then from Charlie Hotel we've got the Yankee 266, which will bring us down to LRAV, which then is the start of our arrival. We're coming in for the LRAV 2 Alpha, and we are going to be coming in for the R-NAV Zulu 05, and we are transitioning off at Ibabu. As we can see that Ibabu on the arrivals, there's the start, which is Ibabu, our initial approach fix, and you can see from the LRAV star we come down from the 217, where we'll start to get to flight level 160 to 170, where we'll take that right turn to the 249 all the way to Gospa, where it should be at 12,000, and then there's Ibabu for our initial approach fix for 10 to 12,000. We can disconnect around that time and we'll configure ourselves as we come down, as we've got the R-NAV here, so we follow the arc around and then we'll take it down into the airport. We'll see how we feel when we get closer to the time. So that is the arrival all in. For our departure we're pretty much going to back out. We'll come out onto Alpha and get onto the hold line to swing around, and then we should be all good to go. So APU's on now, so we get the fuel pumps all in. We're just waiting for the IRS to be aligned. There you see we've got 1 minute. As soon as 1 minute is up, then we will turn on the yaw dampers and we'll get the aircraft fully configured to go, and we'll execute everything off. Okay, so we'll put in the IRS now. So we've got November Zulu Whiskey November. We'll go in, get the left GPS, we'll shove that in. Now everything's come to life, and we're all good to go. So I don't know what that circle is by the airport, but the 300 always has surprises. So we go in there, we've got the arrival and everything all set. We can activate that up. We can go into our perf now, which is all set. Now we can get the aircraft's weights and everything all configured. So zero fuel weight is 55.2, which gives us a 63.9, which is set and all good. 6.7 on the fuel, as we've got reserves of 2. Okay, and we're going for a flight level today of 340. Okay, ISA deviation, and our top climb 198046. Should give us at -47. Transition altitude 5,000. Coming out on our D rate, do D rate 1, full takeoff's 90%. Okay, we'll do the full takeoff and climb 1. Can execute that off. Flaps of 5, 150, 152. Gravity is 9.7, which gives us a 5.5 trim, which is on my charts as well. So we'll set the trim up now. There we go. Okay, which is all set. Okay, which is set. Got 159 for V2. Plus 20 will be 179 on our 15 degrees pitch. So flight directors can now go on. System lights can be all set. Go overhead now, put the yaw damper on. Everything's all good there. And we'll run through our before push and pre-flight procedures. So we've got our battery switch is guarded and closed, the GPU is on the bus, we've got the APU on the bus, iOS modes are aligned which are checked, voice recorder's been checked and verified, flight deck door access guard is closed, service interphone is off, and we've also got the engine panel which is set, passenger oxygen guard is closed and a light extinguished. After that we've got landing gear light is illuminated 3 green. Flight recorder guard is closed which is set. Stall warning was tested and passed. Manual gear extension door is closed which is set, which is right here. And parking brake is set which we can confirm. So before start procedure, our flight deck door closed and locked which is checked. If it was in the 800 of the CDU display which is set. N1 bugs are all set as well. For our takeoff 150, 152 for V1 rotate and 159 for V2 which is set, and our altitude bugs we are going to go up for 16,000 for our initial climb. Okay, which is set. Coming over now, we can set up our landing panel before we do go. So we've got flight level of 340 which is set. From there we can have a look on our panel. So we've got 340 which is 6,800 on the cabin altitude. Okay, which is also set. Just before takeoff we'll switch this lever to flight, so then everything can be all done, and landing altitude is 1,160. Okay, which is also set. So we're practically all ready to go now. We can turn on the fasten seatbelt signs. I think they just go to auto, I don't think they go any further. Not sure. There we go. So seatbelt signs are on, and we can all get ready now to go. So if it was in the 800, the 737-800, what we would have done is I would have gone through the checks, which would have basically put on the hydraulics, and for A, where we have our lower display unit, we could see that the hydraulic pressure light is extinguished when we put them on, which would have been checked, and then we'd go down onto the lower display unit and we'd check also that on our systems our hydraulic A pressure was minimum 2800, so 2800 and above. Okay, so we can call the tug now and get the aircraft all ready and configured. We can put our map on as we're going out straight onto our heading. I hope we can see. We're heading straight out the runway. Then we're going to turn. They would intercept onto the 187 or the 184. All the way down to Sabda. Okay, so the tug's now going to drive us up. So pushback procedure, transponder, we'll get that already set. So we'll put the transponder to TA, which is set. As we can see, it goes all the way around. So that's the TA which is set. We can go ahead, and the parking brake will be handled by ground handling, and then after pushback we're going to put the hydraulics on now. Get them all set. Hydraulic A has extinguished, which is also checked. We can put the APU bleed on now and get the engine bleeds off, which is checked. And we can check on our procedures that we've got our pack switches.
Okay, all doors and hatches are closed, ready to connect.
Okay, so he's ready to connect, which will be all good for us to go. So he's going to connect us up, and then
Tow connected and bypass pin inserted. Release parking brake.
Okay, parking brake released.
Starting pushback, and you may start engines.
Okay, so we'll go overhead now, and we will go for engine number 2. So you can see the start valves now open. You can see N2 now is increasing. Our oil pressure will spring to life, and then at 25% we'll inject the fuel and lift the throttle levers to idle. So there's 24, and we can now inject fuel for engine number 2. See EGT now start to increase, and the engines are now coming to life. Okay, so engine number 2 now has come back, cutout switch is off, so we'll go for engine number 1. Again, start valves increasing, N2 will start to rise. Oil pressure will come to life, 25%. We'll inject the fuel.
Operation complete. Set parking brake.
Okay, so set the parking brake.
Disconnecting tow. Stand by.
Okay, so he's going to disconnect the tow. Now we can go overhead now, and we'll switch over the buses. We can turn on our engine bleeds, the packs can go back to auto, the isolation valve can go to auto, and the APU bleed can go off with the APU. We'll go to the Gen 1. Turn on our probes now as we get ready for our before taxi checklist.
Tow is disconnected and bypass bin has been removed. Hand signal on the right. Well, see you next time and have a safe flight.
Okay, see you soon, bye bye. So we'll go in before our taxi checklist or our taxi procedure. So generator 1 and 2 is switched over, which is on and checked. Our probe heats are on and checked. Wing anti-ice as needed. We can check the temperature. Okay, 14 degrees is fine, so we don't need anti-ice. Ground equipment verified is clear. Flap lever set for takeoff, so we'll go for flaps number 5. Okay, so we're all set to go now. We've done our before taxi checklist. Put in the 800, we've turned the lower display unit off and done our flight check, etc. So flaps are 5 and set. We can now go on the overhead, we can put on our taxi. Vehicles are clear, everybody is out of the way. So we'll bring our controls over. And we can set our trim, which has already been set for 5.5. So we'll do our systems check. So we've got full left, full right. Actually, do you know what? We'll go outside. Okay, so we'll go full left, neutral, full right, neutral, full forward, neutral, full back, neutral, rudder left, and rudder right. As we've got the rudders connected to the tail as well as the... Okay, so we're all set to taxi, so we'll get our taxi charts up now. As we're all there, ready to take that left, we can go out onto Bravo 8 and then swing that right hand turn. So, we can now release the brake, and we'll taxi on now to runway 16. This brake can go to RTO as well. Okay, so cabin crew, prepare for departure. So I'll make this left turn now as we come out And we've got a landing rate plugin as well, so we can see what we register when we come down into Queenstown today. We'll do max auto brake when we come in, so we can definitely slow for the end of the runway, as we are going to come in like a rocket, as we are pretty heavy. So we'll come out onto the taxiway now. Go into Bravo 7. Okay, so as we follow it down now, all the way down to runway 16. Here we are now approaching up to runway 16 as we get ready to depart. So positioning lights and everything's on. We'll get the aircraft all ready from now, so we can turn our strobes on. Runway turn-offs can all go on, as they now get ready to come round onto the alpha hold. Auto brake is set. R-NAV won't engage, as we'll be engaging that after 400 feet. Can engage the heading select. Okay, so we're going to hold here at the hold and get the aircraft all ready, so we can arm the auto throttle. We can go ahead now and we'll put the landing lights on. We can now go and taxi onto runway 16. We'll do our recall, which is clear. Now we get ready to put our landing pressure panel to flight mode. And switch the transponder to TARE. So, cabin crew, prepare for departure. So, we don't need to follow this line as it's for vacating aircraft. So we can just go and line up where we want, as we can see. So I'll make a left turn now. Okay, we're all set. So we'll stop here. 152. See if the so landing lights and everything are on and all set. We've got our charts right here for the departure as we come out, 160 and then 197. So let's get ready to go. Reset the view. Okay, so release the brakes. We'll go up to 40%. We'll let them stabilise and then we'll toga. Okay, 40% and toga. Okay, forward pressure on the stick. valves checked, throttle hold. V1, rotate. Positive brake, gear up. Okay, so we'll pitch nose down a bit, take our V2. Okay, so 400 feet, L-NAV can now go in. We keep the L-NAV, the VNAV as we go in. Okay, so as we climb out, we're now going to take that right turn onto the 197 or the 191. There we go. So we make our way up, passing through 179. What's that right turn now? As we backtrack in, following the flight director, passing through 183. So we go to flaps 1 now. As we're going to go straight up to our acceleration speed. Okay, so we get ready now to backtrack. Holding the aircraft now, so flaps up. Auto brake can go off, and we can turn the gear off now as well, which is all set. Now the reason the flight director's not picking up is because it's put a circle in for some reason. So if we just put it there, put that there, that gives a new path, and now the flight director should come back to life. So slowly climbing now through 3003 as we're taking a climb 1 out. So we're going to that left turn now for the 191. Flaps are fully retracted. As you get ready to burst through the clouds. Okay, just coming up to 230, add a little bit of forward trim. Okay, now we'll backtrack forward 191. So passing 233 on the speed as we're going to go up to 250. I've just burst through the clouds, getting ready now. As we go on to the 184, which is all set. As we peer through the clouds now, passing 5,000, can now put the QNHs over to 1013, which is set. And what we can do now is we can let the autopilot engage. So autopilot 1's engaged now, passing through 6,000 feet, engine start switches can go to continuous as the aircraft trims itself out now, going back down while tracking down onto the 184 now as we go inbound to Sabda. There's 245 as we go up. Passing through 6007, do the first officers as well. Okay, which is set. So, after takeoff, we've got strobes were all on, fixed landing lights are on. After toga, it was about 400 feet, we had our roll mode which would engage, which was L-NAV, and we put in VNAV as well. Flaps are retracted as scheduled, as we're now at our 220. And what we can do is, as soon as we are on profile, go to our climb 250 under 10,000, and then we'll switch our landing lights and we'll accelerate to our acceleration speed of our climb. So passenger signs will be off at 10,000, transition altitude which is already set to the barometric pressure. altimeters are cross-checked and verified as we set them both up, and that is our climb and cruise procedure complete. So there's 9003, we can go ahead now and get the landing lights all on. Runway turn-offs can go off, taxis, and everything else can stay on, all well can stay off, and pressurizations go to flight. So 10,000 feet now, you can see we're going to go to our climb speed, and then on our cruise we've got Mach 738 and we've got Mach 744. Okay, so that's pretty much us for the departure, as we're now going to travel out, and I can show you the plan when we come in. So we're going to put plan in on the monitor, and if we go to our legs page, we can see that we're going to travel all the way down. There's our top of climb. Once we pass, there's a roof, and from a roof we're then going to come down to aircon, where we'll then follow it all the way down to come round on that big 180-degree turn, where we'll then come in for the runway. So we'll bring it down in vertical speed, as the 300 can't use VNAV for the R-NAV approaches, so we use the vertical speed as we come down, and that should be all good for our arrival. So what we can do is we'll go to our takeoff cinematics, and then once we get back we will be our top of descent, ready to come in for the lovely arrival into Queenstown for runway 05 on the R-NAV Zulu approach. So I'll see you guys in just a sec. Hi guys, welcome back to flight deck. Right now we're going to get ready to make our descent, as we're going to do this descent manually instead of the VNAV, as the VNAV only got no top of descent. It's only reaching for the 10,000 for the R-NAV, which we're not going to do anyway. We're going to come down in vertical speed, and then once we break down underneath the clouds, then we'll come in for visual, and we'll fly visually down for runway 05. So, we're going to put in 160. Okay, 160 is set, and we can now start and descend down. We've got LRAV right next to come up, as we can see, and we're going to slow the aircraft right down. Around 2250. So as we go overhead now, you can see we've got start switches are continuous, no smokings are on, and we can just let them go off and on again to let the cabin know. We're all set there, we've got a cabin altitude and everything which is set for 1160. And we're coming down for 16,000 initially, as LRAV is right there, so we can take it down just a little bit more. We can go down to 1006. And the aircraft is slow now to 247. As we start to descend down for flight level 17 and 16 for LRAV, passing through flight level 320 now. As we descend down into lovely Queenstown, we've got the orthos in as well, and we're all set to come in. So we'll go over to our descent procedure. So we've got landing altitude, which we can verify, which is the 1160, which is set on our landing panel, which is checked. After that, we've got the speed brake lever, which can go to arm for now. If we need to use it, then we'll take that off. System annunciator, we'll use the recall. So recall's fine and checked. And we'll go for our approach. Into the approach ref, we can see a 153 flaps 30 or 149 flaps 40. I'm going to take a 153 flaps 30 as I like flaps 30, as it's a lot more smoother on the arrival, especially on the flare, as this 300's it's a small bodied aircraft, so near the 800 you have that, you've got the, how can I say it, you have that envelope to flare within, and because this is a small bodied aircraft, there's not a lot of angle to really mess about with if you wanted to flare, as we're not really that too heavy as well, and I'm coming down, you know, body's quite short, whereas if it was in an 8 or a 900 we'd have to really give us some flare to then counteract and pull the aircraft off the touchdown. The 300, where it's short, if you pull back too much you'll end up floating it very easily, as I saw earlier on vertical speed, the aircraft was 1,000 feet per minute. It's literally like it doesn't look like you're doing anything. So 2,500 feet, and we're now opening up speed brakes. So we need to get down between 17,000 and 160 for LRAV down to Kaslu. So we've got Kaslu right there as we make our way down through 290. We're going to go for 16,500, as it's in between 16 and 1,700 feet. And then we'll go down onto the 217, so we're currently now on the 216, which is set. Auto brake's going to max, as we're going to really fly in on the approach for this one. As we come down, 3.5 DME from LRAV, where we'll go into the descent. So we should have some nice cloud layer as we come in. Everything's all set, as we haven't got no ATIS or anything on there. QNH B1025 as we pass through. Okay. So our speed down to 50. So passing through flight level 260 on our way down. Speed brakes open as we make it down for 170 between 160. So the gear lights on because I think something to do with the throttle idle, something like that. As we slowly come down, we keep our speed brakes are open as we can allow them as we come down. So vertical speed, we're coming down for 2,500 feet per minute, and you can see on our descent rate we are practically going to come in, etc. for that. Top of descent, that's basically for the R-NAV when we're at 10,000 feet. We're practically going to wait at 10,000 feet. We'll go down in vertical speed to come down. So currently in down the 217, 216. We'll then turn to the 228 from Egvolve. So there's 270. Got the speed brake which is armed. We'll stay for 280 now on our speed as we get ready to pass from the 216 onto the 228. That's where we'll be at Kaslu for flight level 170 and 16. So 170 below and 160 above. Reduced climb mode is set. Coming down now through 210. As we can see the open break between the valley where we are going to come in for. As you now get ready to make that turn onto the 228. So cabin crew prepare for landing. Decision height. Okay, so we'll leave that there. As we now come down, we'll go on to the 228 now. Which is set, passing through flight level 190. Aircraft seems to be nice and stable as we get ready now to break through the clouds and go in for that lovely approach for runway 05. So we're at 280 coming down for 170 to 16. So, coming down now for flight level 165, we are now getting ready to hit for Kaslu. We're then going to make that left turn onto the 249. We'll then get ready to come in for Ibabu, which is our initial approach fix. So, we're all ready now for the 249, which will come in, and on our altitude, so 160 for Kaslu, and then we go down to 130 for our next fix for Magpie, at or above 13,500. And we can see Magpi's right there. So we'll take that 249 and then we'll go down to 135. Okay, so put the 249 in. Down to 1335. Okay, and now we'll make that right hand turn onto the 249 for Magna, and we'll slowly descend now. So flight level 135. As you see, we've got a little way to go before we join on. So I'm not going to slow the aircraft down just yet. Then once we pass from Magba from Gospel, when we turn left onto the 219, we need to be at or above 12,000, and then between 12 and 10 for our initial fix for Ibabu. So slowly descending now through flight level 150. Transition level is going to be for 150, so we can put 1025 in there. Which is set. Okay. 1025, which is also set and cross-checked. Got auto brake number max, and we're coming in for flaps 30, 153 plus 5 will be a 158. So it should be all set to come in. Turn off the centre pumps now. Okay, so as we now get ready for Gospa, we're now going to basically descend down for out above 12,000 feet. So we'll go straight down for 10 now. Coming down to 2,000 feet per minute. Then from Gospar, going to go into the 219. And put our max bank on now. Okay, so there's a 219 set. As we come down towards Ibabu, we're going to descend now. There's 13,005 for Gospel. At or above 12,000, between 12 and 11,000. So we'll stay for 11,000. And we can slow our rate of descent up now. Okay. Slow the aircraft down to 250. Now we can open up speed brakes. So on our speed restrictions, see we've got Ibabu. Come down, we'll hit 3,100 feet as the final approach point. We'll make sure we're fully established by then. So by the time we get to Bournemouth, 3,100 feet. And we need to be coming down as we're doing 158. So it's around 900 feet, nearly a minute. So we'll make sure that we are configured by the time when we go into that left-hand turn off of the approach, and then we'll get the aircraft all configured. So we've got the speed brake in now, and we are currently slowing down for the runway. We're in the controls over now as we get ready for the approach, passing through 11,006, and by the time we get to Ibabu, which is right there, 10,000, and then Mokba is going to be for 5,005. Okay, so next fix will be 5,005, which we can now input 038, which is set as we get ready to go into that left turn. As we've left Ibabu now, and we're going to go down to 10,006 before we then line up, and then we can come down for runway 05 on the R-NAV approach. So we're going to go into that left turn now. We can cut the bank angle out so we won't put too much in, and the aircraft can catch a nice turn as we come around the bend now. So 240, so we're heading now onto the 038 course as we come past this lovely cloud, ready for inbound for 05. So we start to slow down now to our flaps up. Landing lights can now go on, runway turn-offs, taxis, and we're on. And we're told the cabin now, we get ready to go. Okay, so we're going to that left turn now. 10,000. We're going to stay around for 10,005 till we come around, and then we'll get ready to come down onto the approach. 3,100 feet is where we are as our final approach point. So it'll be fully configured, ready to go into that zigzag left to right turn. Come down on the 3.2 degree. As we can see, 3.2 degrees, 038, and 3,100 for our final approach point. So what we can do now, as we are getting ready to go into that turn, we need to backtrack onto the 038 as we catch some lovely views, and then we'll manually visually down and get her guided. We'll run the visual and see what we can do. We've got the landing rate in as well, guys, so get your landing rates in now as we get ready to come in. So the speed brake is armed, we've got our flaps, which we can start to slow down now once we come in. So we'll come down onto our flaps 5. As the aircraft slowly starts to decel now. Okay. There's a flaps 5. Which is set 3,100 feet. Which is gears to also be set. We'll set our vertical speed. Come down for 950 a minute. So flaps 5 are in. As you see, we haven't got no bugs there for some reason. Got 152, but we're using 153. As we come down, as you can see, the airport's right there. As we get ready to come in for this lovely big visual. So what we can do is we'll test our landing skills, disconnect the autopilot, and we'll disconnect the auto throttle. And now I have full control of the aircraft. Flight director can be off for 3,100 feet for immobile. There, we'll just take the throttle block out. We can get the throttle block to come out. There we go. So, and we'll start that descent down. Okay. Go to flaps 10. Go to 152. Get a little bit of trim. Okay, flaps 15. Gear down. That'll give us a bit more drag. Coming down through 188. Landing gear is down, 3 green. Auto brake is set to max. 3,100 feet from Mubu. As we now come down visually. Just lower up on our pitch. So we let the aircraft descend down. Speed brakes are armed. Okay, so we'll hold flat 15 until we get down a little more. Okay, go for flaps 25. That should get the aircraft to start to slow down for us. Down through 181. The slower we can get the aircraft, the slower the descent will be for us. So come through 178. As we get the aircraft slowed down to our 152, pass it through 6007. Once we hit 152, then we need 3100 for a Mubu. So we now turn to level back for the 038, and we can go down for our flaps 30 now. Okay, trim down just a little as we pass through 6,000. On our steep descent, still 174. As we slowly slow down, once we hit 3001. We'll come in for that rate. So, getting ready to go from that left to right. There's 5,000. Aircraft will start to slow now. Throttles to idle. Okay, as we slowly start to pitch up the aircraft, we're down for 4,000. We'll continue the descent. Start to introduce throttle power, and we'll continue to descend down. Okay, as you can see, steep descent.
2,500.
2,500 checked, so we've got landing gear which is down, 3 green, we've got auto brake set to max. We are fully established, ready in for the approach, currently around 15 knots, a little faster and a little higher than expected, as obviously we haven't got the VNAV profile for the 300 to follow on the R-NAV. So 170, we're going to come in hot. We'll see if we can stop her, or we'll slow her down just before the arrival. There's 169, as we still carry on that descent, as we're going to need to go steeper than 900 feet in order for us to maintain the speed. Minimums continue as we go around into that left turn now. There's one red, speed's killing off now, 2 red, lift the nose up slightly, back to around 900 feet, introduce power, and come round on that right hand turn. Okay, there's 152, continue it down, 2 reds.
400.
Okay.
300.
3 red, we need to get down ASAP.
Minimum.
Continue, skim the
100.
trees.
50, 40, 30, 20, 10.
Okay, speed brakes are on. And reversers are active. Okay, reversers can go back in. And brakes can be turned off. And there we are, guys, down in Queenstown. So as we slowly brake the aircraft now, in the auto brake has kicked in, and so we're coming down that fast drop, so we'll get ready to brake now, and we'll do a U-turn so we can spin the aircraft around. Also brakes are off now, and we can now let the speed brake back in. And we'll introduce our power. And we'll retract the flaps as we back taxi up the runway, ready for us to get out of here. So there we are, guys, down in Queenstown. We'll get the APU started in just a sec once we taxi off, so we'll back taxi back up 23 and get ready to vacate, and then we'll go to our landing cinematics. So don't forget to like and subscribe, guys, leave your comments down below, help us get to that 2k subscriber goal, and thank you to all my new and old subscribers that are still watching to this day. So I'll see you guys when we get back for our taxi to the gate. So I'll see you guys in just a sec. And there we are, guys, down in Queenstown for the flight of the night. Don't forget to like and subscribe, leave your comments down below, help us get to that 2k subscriber goal, and I'll see you guys all soon for our next flight on the channel. Have a great weekend. See you soon. Bye bye.
20,